Great. Hi, and welcome to Purposeful Woman. Today we have a beautiful Sharon Rose. Sharon Rose has been bringing through the wisdom of ascendant masters and coaching people in all fields. She's a New York Times bestselling authors, spiritual seekers, and those desiring self-mastery for the past 35 years. Her life-changing visionary transformation system received in conscious communication with the masters has transformed lives all over the world. Hi and welcome, Sharon.
Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be with your glorious goddess entrepreneur business women.
Thank you. I can hear the birds going behind on your background. So beautiful. I know you are in Hawaii. And I think the background pretty much from Hawaii as well.
I'm in Maui and I'm in gratitude every day to be able to be here.
Oh, that is wonderful. I would love, and I'm sure audience would love to hear your story on how you got where you right now. And do you do what you do?
It was not something I planned, but my husband was killed in a major airplane accident, and it totally shifted my world. And I was staying at a friend and her husband's place after this happened. I did not yet know it had happened, but when I received the phone call, the presence of my husband came before me. First time that had ever happened. And then the next day, driving down a very sharp hill, which was in the Mount Washington area of LA, there was a very sharp hairpin curve at the bottom of the road, and the brakes failed on my car. And it was obvious to me there was nothing I could do. And I thought, this is it. And so I just threw up my hands and said, okay, God, or whoever is out there, help me. And by that time, the car was shooting off the ravine, and there was a huge drop below me. And when I said those words, there was this huge white being, like an angel, that repositioned the car back on the road. And so I managed to get off to the side of the road so I wouldn't be hit by the next car coming back. And I sat there for a very long time because I realized that my life had just been changed and saved, and that there was a reason. And so after that, there were just series of events that books fell off the bookshelf and would open up, and certain passages would be highlighted. And I realized that we all have a purpose, and if we're still alive, that we are here to experience it. So there was just story after story that happened that transformed my body and totally took me from one career to another overnight. And I have been coaching people to live the most extraordinary lives that they have come to live ever since, guided by the angels and the masters that this whole experience has opened up to me. And part of it was, where was the most wonderful place I wanted to live, since I now could choose every aspect of my life, the business, the relationships, the environment. And I thought, Maui, what could be better? So I've been living here for 22 years, and I wake up in gratitude every day.
That is absolutely tragic but wonderful story, and inspiring story. And I want to talk with you today. I know that you're very big on supporting women and standing for women as the creation of God, as women as we are. And I would love to ask you, what is the woman's ultimate power that allows us to create that extraordinary life and transform the world?
Wonderful question. We are not only set up to win, we are divinely designed to bring forth life, whether it's new businesses, new ideas, new civilizations, new culture, and we also have a spiritual self that is unlimited, and we can co-create with this part of us that will bring us not only what we long for in our heart of hearts, but what is also in our own divine blueprint. We all have a unique divine blueprint that we have created before coming into this life that is designed to not only use all our gifts and talents and bring us joy at the highest level, but can also be something that contributes to the larger global puzzle of bringing a harmonious world. And how are we set up to win? Because we bring forth life, we are the source of nurturing for every child that comes through us. We hold them to our breasts and feed them what they need to survive with breast milk. We have this beautiful, loving, unconditional, caring nature. So every child is pre-programmed to want to receive the love and praise from their mother and to be able to seek the approval of this one that's been the nurturer and the giver of life. So as that child grows up, he still has this pre-programming. So the woman is born to win, not to be the second-class citizen or unequal or any of the things that women have experienced. And for example, if it's a high school football team, a college team we're watching, or a pro game, the television camera will seek out the winning one of the team, whether it's the captain or the ones that scored the winning touchdown. And as they bring this one on camera, he will invariably face the camera, hold up the trophy with a big smile and say, "This one's for you, Mom." So as the man matures and finds the love of his life that he wants to spend the rest of his life with, he is programmed, pre-programmed to want to seek the approval and the praise and the love of the one that nurtures him physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And yes, that includes sex. That's a very direct way to create union. And so there is nothing within a woman that places her as a second-class citizen or a victim. And women do not grow up to inherently want to be competitors or be the last man standing, unless they have been raised and trained by a father who's also had that top dog mentality. So women have these extraordinary gifts to create not only new life, new ideas, new ways of being, but the culture. The woman raises the child. She's the one that rocks the cradle. So she's the one that's training this child with the values, the behavior that they should follow. So this change can happen in one generation. And as the girls, unless they have been raised by a corporate culture or military cultural family, they inherently grow up wanting to nurture and include everyone in the family, whether it's the pet, whether it's the other family members, or the people in the neighborhood or their school kids. They want to include everyone. And unless there has been, as we say, other programming, then that's where prejudice begins. So the little girl grows up loving her dolls and dressing them and dreaming of the family she will one day have in her wedding day. You know, we all imagine that, and nowhere in those dreams is bringing forth this child, holding our womb for 9 months and then birthing it, raising it, nurturing it, loving it, to be sent off to war to be killed or to kill another woman's child. That is literally alien to our nature. So when women begin to reclaim themselves, their highest, I want to say, divine feminine nature, they will speak up and they will reclaim themselves, their own innate magnificence to guide the culture, to birth the culture, and they will say, no more. I will no longer allow my precious daughter or son to be sent off, to be killed, sacrificed at the warrior, at the altar of war. And so this is the time, this is the age of woman. What did the Dalai Lama say? The transformation in the world is going to come from the Western women. And we want each of you to know as entrepreneurs, and yes, it's wonderful to focus on the expansion and success of your business, but you also want to satisfy the longing for the love and the joy and the happiness and the union that you have naturally in your own heart of hearts. And when you discover your divine blueprint, what you have created before coming into this embodiment of this life, of what would not only bring you joy beyond measure, but what is your own particular unique design to make the world a better place, that in so doing, your business is aligned with that, and your relationships, your life, your environment. So you are living your purpose in the highest way. And you have come, dear ones, to only create and live in joy. So I'm inviting you all to reclaim your original divine nature, which allows you to be set up to win and to bring love and happiness and harmony to everyone around you. And I love the way that it was done in the golden ages of the past. At this time, women were the magnificent beings that they were designed to be. And the men were beautiful examples of being the highest of the divine masculine. And one of their first jobs was to serve women. And it has been said in our time, if the woman isn't happy, no one's happy, because she carries that vision. So every month at the time that women were experiencing their menstrual cycle, they would prepare these beautiful temples, cathedrals for them to be in. And the women would go all together for that week, and they would be shown the most magnificent architecture, art. The minstrels would come in and they would be entertained and with the highest culture of the land. So these women were treated as the goddesses that they are and were given the highest of the culture to inspire them. And then when it was time for each one to begin their menstrual cycle, they would each have a beautiful room that would be their own sanctuary so that they could be in meditation during that time, and they would receive what the vision was that would allow that civilization and that culture to be able to expand and grow and thrive in the most magnificent way for the next month. And then at the end of the time that they would each receive a different piece of what was to happen for this next month, and each a piece of the larger vision of how the civilization was to be guided. And they would then meet with the men, and each woman would speak what she had received. And it was then the men's job to make sure that it happened. And also in the civilization of the Iroquois nation of Native Americans, under the time of Hiawatha or Hiawatha, the women were the ones that were given the job of choosing the leaders because they would know what was in a man's heart. Was he truly there to serve everyone and the women and the children and allow that tribe to go forward in peace? And that system lasted for 1,000 years until the white man came to North America. So this is a proven system honoring the extraordinary superpowers and gifts that women have. And so we invite you, dear ones, to go within, connect with that spiritual self. And this is the most important relationship you will ever have because it doesn't leave you. It is unconditional divine love. That is the source of that within you. It doesn't leave, it doesn't die. It's with you 24/7. And from that place, co-creating from the place of the highest vision, you will create the most extraordinary life. And it will be one that will allow all your gifts and talents to be used. So you will be living in joy and love and abundance beyond measure, precious one. That's my invitation to you this day.
Wow. I felt like I didn't even need to ask any more questions here. It's just so beautiful what you've shared. And aren't we right, came to this word with to be joyful and leave our blueprint, but also maybe find that blueprint and leave that blueprint and be enjoying ourselves. The question I have for you, the last, how would I structure this? So how do we, you mentioned on a topic of purpose, like you get to live your purpose, but how do you find that purpose and how do you connect with it so you're not waiting the whole life to be connected to it?
It's very simple. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's by going within and creating that relationship with your divine self, your spiritual self, and begin to ask questions and be quiet and listen. So you can not only get the intuitive guidance when you ask the questions, what is my divine purpose? What is my divine blueprint? And you are quiet enough that you hear the answers. Then you can be gently guided step by step as to what that purpose is and what is the plan step by step to be able to actualize that extraordinary part within you that is unlimited. And so you are not creating out of your mind, you are creating out of your heart of hearts, the true essence of you. And if you are not living with joy and creativity that is bringing you the abundance that you want, you are probably laboring under the false identity of your false personality, which is very limited and is focused on the fear and the doubt and the unworthiness. And instead of trying to improve that part, focus on self, the spiritual self-realization, so that you can align with your inner superpowers and you have the plan that will always work and will fill you with great joy and happiness.
And I know that today you actually have a beautiful gift that is will help them to discover that with you. Will you share with us what you are sharing today?
It is my joy to be able to offer a free discovery session to be able to guide you into how to be able to connect with that sacred spiritual self that will guide you through your own divine purpose and your divine blueprint.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharon. It's been such a pleasure listening to your wisdom, and thank you so much for coming on We will absolutely share a link if you're watching or listening to this show on the site or in the show links, just in the show notes. So definitely go and grab that session with Sharon. That will look like you will email her. And Sharon, do you mind sharing your email?
Yes, it's Spirit, SPIRIT, at usinternet.com. And it has been my profound privilege and joy to spend this time with your glorious goddess audience. And I thank you, Joanne.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. All right. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. And if you love this episode and you would love to see more of that, click the subscribe button to Purposeful Woman Podcast. And don't forget to text us to stay in tune with the Purposeful community for awesome tricks by texting to number +1 401 399 4105, and we will link descriptions in the episode to all of that we mentioned today. Bye. Turn your one day to day one with a purposeful day.